The plumbing connections to the central heating system are straightforward. The lagged flow and return pipes, along with the sensor wire, travel through the attic to the hot water cylinder below.
Here we see the ROTH solar pumping station in position in the hot press. We have the flow and return pipes coming from the solar panels, which are colour coded, red for flow and blue for return. They then continue on down and into the coil in the cylinder. We also have the pre-plumbed features of the unit, which are the 6-bar blow-off for safety, pipe down into the discharge. We have the pressure clock to make sure the system's running at the correct pressure, and a fixing point for the 18-litre expansion vessel. We can also see here the fill and the drain points for flushing and introducing the glycol to the system. On the left hand side we can see a manual bleed valve for expelling the air when the system's being commissioned. Moving on down, we have two 22mm gate valves on the line between the pump station and the cylinder. Further on down the line we have plumbed in a mains fill point for topping up the system from time to time. And down at the very bottom, at the lowest point of the system, we have a drain valve. Here we have the ROTH BW controller. This is supplied through a 5 amp fuse spur. You can see here we have the live and the neutral supply, and it's also earthed onto the earth terminal here. This is then feeding the supply to the pump in the pumping unit. We have the live to the pump R1 and the neutral, and also an earth as well. Moving over to the left hand side, which is the low voltage side, we have S1, which is a 2-core going to the sensor and the solar panels, and we have S2, which is a 2-core going to a sensor in the domestic cylinder.
To commission the system, a purpose-specific pump is available from PowerTech. There are two pre-plumbed water connections for the pump, to allow air to be flushed from the system and to pressurise the system for use. The water for the system enters via the mains inlet and will flow down through the cylinder coil and back up to the commissioning outlet to fill the tank on the pump. 15 to 20 litres should be enough for a 2-panel system, but more may be needed depending on the distance to the panels or if extra panels are added.
Here we have the supply pipe of water coming in from our commissioning pump with the butterfly valve here open. What we do at this point is turn this valve 90 degrees clockwise. The purpose of this for commissioning is to block off the path down through the pump and short circuit and out again. What we're doing here is we're forcing the water in, up, around the panels, back down again, down the flow side of the line, into the coil, back up and out again and into the commissioning tank. The valve on the left hand side on the red dial is turned slightly clockwise. The purpose of this is to push down on the valve of the non-return valve, which is in here, to allow for easy passage of the water down through it.
To flush all the air from the system with the commissioning pump will take about an hour. Towards the end of this time, open the manual bleed valve to release any air that has been trapped there. Once all the air has been expelled from the system, the pressure is increased by closing the outlet valve and continuing to pump. It should be raised to about 4 bar. This is well in excess of normal operating pressure and will give an opportunity to inspect the plumbing to expose any leaks in the system. Once the system has been stress tested and there are no leaks, the pressure is released and the glycol antifreeze can be added. At least 10 litres is used, which will give about 30% concentration when added to 20 litres of water. This is the recommended concentration. More glycol will be needed to achieve this if more than 20 litres of water has been used to commission the system. The mix is then allowed to circulate and the system finally pressurised to its operational level of 2 bar. The commissioning pump can now be removed. Before turning on the system, the flow and return valves are now returned to their normal vertical positions and the system cover can be put in place. Once switched on, the controller language will default to German. To change this, and for other controller settings, refer to the manual enclosed with the system.